Hi, it's Sue with Everyday Artisan, popping on to give a quick wrap up of my May 2026 wears and makes. Probably kind of a short video. I have to admit I'm starting to lose steam after trying to wear my homemade makes all year long. Actually, I'm losing more steam in the making department than the wearing department. The wears, especially because it was Me Made May, I wore something 13 times this past month that I had made, where most of the months before it was only about 10. But I didn't really totally jump into the whole Me Made May, try to wear something every day, figure out what you've made, what works, what doesn't, what you need to make. I didn't really do that this year, but let me go ahead and as I go through the makes, I'm wearing a couple of the things that I told you about in my last what I was making video. I actually wore a few of those. So let's go through them. All right, for day 38 or my 38th wear of the year, you probably recognize this from my last video. I made the video in May, so it was actually the first time I wore something in May, and it was the white crossback top that I have a few videos about how it was my biggest mistake, but I've finished it, I've put the binding on, and I love it. So that was day 38. On day 39, you might also remember this scarf from my makes video, because it's what inspired actually the skirt I'm wearing right now. It is a scarf that I just had a leftover piece of Dove fabric, and I wanted to try the relief applique technique, and so it's such an easy wear. I don't know why. This was the first time of the whole year that I wore it. But I believe there's a blog post about it, the relief applique, so I'll stick that down below, about the whole technique of making the piece you applique on, 120% of the painted shape. Anyway, you guys really need to tell me. I thought this was going to be quick, but I find myself being chatty. Am I too chatty? Would you rather me be brief or be more chatty? Let me know down below. Okay. Day 40, my 40th wear, was my red wrap top. And you notice I'm wearing something underneath. I know in my last video I told you about making the long sleeve white wrap top and how it doesn't quite fit over the bust. So here's a good example of it, what it looks like on me. Day 41, I'm just wearing my Life is Good, which was a thrifted t-shirt that I turned into a corset a long time ago, so it's a little tight on me. So I'm wearing the natural cropped cardigan over top, and I'm only showing you the picture that's kind of zoomed in, because the picture that's zoomed out is not as flattering. All right. Day 41, no, that was 41. 42 was, I'm going to show you two pictures on this one. I'm wearing my black Paisley t-shirt with the cap sleeves. This came from a kit that I've manipulated a few times as I've needed to give it a little ease. And I'm wearing the reversible black and navy mini skirt. And I put on another picture because you can't, in that first picture, you really can't see the Paisley design very well, and the negative reverse applique. And sorry, there's a big chocolate bar in front, but I was out there repping one of my local chocolatiers, which are delicious. If you ever get a chance to order a Miss Maud's, do it. Day 43, it says I was wearing, the ballet corset. Oh, that was the day we went out for a friend's 60th birthday. And the picture where I'm got some flowers from my garden. So this, I'm wearing the Ballet corset, which I did in fact add racing stripes down the side. The natural on natural midi skirt, which was originally a baby doll dress kit from Alabama Chanin, and the cropped cardigan. But I'm also wearing a purse that my son's girlfriend made me, which is adorable. I'll put a link to her Etsy shop down below. And as we're speaking about my garden, I just wanted to throw in this other picture because, and I know I kind of mentioned it in my last makes video, my April makes video. I really find myself being inspired by the colors in my garden. And this one kind of matches the plum scarf I'm working on. So just so you know where a lot of my inspiration comes from. Okay, day 44. I was on a trip Mother's Day weekend to go visit said son up in Philadelphia, and I had finished the binding on the Plum jacket that I was making. So I am wearing that with my white paneled shirt to drive up to Philadelphia. And so then, yeah, I like it with the binding. There's really not much to say. It was pretty simple jacket. I'll probably get a lot of good wear out of it, and I'm excited about that. The next day was actually, no, that wasn't Mother's Day. It was the Saturday. Or maybe it was the Sunday. I don't remember. Anyway, the rose wrap cardigan with the navy tank and the navy reversible midi for walking around, and I think we walked like 8 miles that day, hence the tennis shoes, but got to see all of Philadelphia, Independence Hall, Delaware River, Rittenhouse Square, got to see it all, which was very nice to spend time with my son. Then from there, I kept going up north to see my sister. And so this next picture, I'm just wearing that white panel tank again that I had worn. You know, when you're traveling, you kind of tend to wear things over and over. Actually, that white panel tank I tend to wear over and over, which is probably the lesson I need to take away from Me Made May. But wearing that with the Sonia bandana in the navy. That was the kit project class that I took on the School of Making group page. That was, you'll notice I'm in the picture, we're at the New York Botanical Garden with my sister. The one thing I failed to do in May was to paint her coat jacket that I've already cut out the navy fabric, but I'm still working on figuring out, I haven't ordered the paint. We were gonna paint it while we were at her house, but then that weather wasn't great that week. Long stories. Anyway, that's still on the to-do list. Okay, day 47, I'm finally, I think it was the first time I actually wore the plain pewter tank that I had made back in, I can't remember if it was February, earlier this year, let's just say. And wearing it with the swing skirt, with the Magdelena pewter over black, reverse applique. I was nervous about the plain tank with the skirt, but when you put something a little black over top of it, in this case the cropped cardigan, that brings the whole outfit together. Just the plain tank with the skirt doesn't quite work. I'm not sure why, but it didn't quite work. Okay, day 48, I'm wearing the skirt that I finished, that I was making last month. Yay! This was a real quick, easy project, especially since it's just got the, I'm gonna do this. Or you're here, you'll see it in the picture. Duh. But because it's just got the placement stencil, and because I just used a Sharpie to outline the stencil, it worked up really quick. The whole point of it is that theoretically I will add beads as I go. So in that regard, it's not finished, but here I am wearing it again today, so it must be all right. And then I wore it again the next day with that white panel tank. Go figure. That white panel tank just matches everything. Maybe I need to start doing that in every color or different shapes in the white. I can't decide which. All right, day 50. Wow. The Twilight Facets tank and navy mini. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading it and I can't picture it in my head, but now I remember what it looks like this. And I'm actually going to show you two pictures, because in the first picture you couldn't see the negative reverse very well on the tank. This was one, she had a dogwood stencil she put out. That was probably like 5 years ago. And had this whole colorway with the kind of the gold paint on top of the navy, which gets put on top of the Twilight, that I loved. So made that, love that. And then for the last wear of May, I wore a whole peacock outfit. So this is the fitted top, which is the one that's just 4-panel with the seam down the middle. It's the one that I always wonder if I need to adjust it because it's a little tight. The peacock sleeveless bolero and the peacock swing skirt, peacock over peacock Magdelena stencil reverse applique. It's so interesting because after I made this outfit, I bought some peacock fabric, additional peacock fabric, and they actually don't match at all. So that's interesting. I was hoping to be able to make some more stuff to be able to mix and match with these 3 pieces, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Okay, as for what I made in May, like I said, I finished the binding on the Plum jacket. I finished this skirt. Well, not finished because I might add beads. I didn't even get around to painting my sister's jacket. Didn't even get around to thinking about that indigo dress I told you about. But the one thing I did work on was the plum scarf that I had going on. And I didn't get very far. Look, this is just as far as I've gotten. Yeah, I know. I was, like I said, burning out. Hopefully I'll get re-energized again soon, although the next couple of months it's all about travel. So we'll see how much I can make and wear. But so the scarf, got some pieces in. You can see I've got it's hard to show you here, the white and then the pewter. And then the piece down here has got the dove. So it's got those 3 colors. And I've got some sequins. I've got some bugle beads. These are chop beads. So yeah, so just go ahead and finally getting started on this. I think once I do get it made, I'm really gonna like it. Yeah, I like playing with it now. But you can tell that picture earlier with the flowers from my garden, the whites, the purples, the burgundies, are definitely what I'm into right now. So I'm gonna wrap it up there because I don't know what I'm making next month. Probably just still working on this and painting my sister's jacket. And if I can get that done, I'll be pleased as punch. All right, thanks so much for joining me again. I am still gonna have a few make some wears next month, so come on back. And again, thank you for giving me your time.